Alright, so today we are going to be checking out another budget-friendly RC crawler, and this one is going to be the MN99 from the MN model series. So same as the MN82 that we previously tested before, yep, this one is also going to be a budget-friendly crawler that most of the people are going to be recommend beginners to start with. So in today's video, we will be looking at the specs together to see what you're actually getting in the package. We will drive this together and test it out in all kinds of environment, and then at last we're going to be putting an FPV camera behind the wheels to see like how it looks in first-person view. All right, without further ado, let's get right into it. All right, so let's quickly run through the specs so you know what you're actually going to be getting. So the MN99, obviously, this is going to be a replica of the Land Rover D90, which most of the RC cars are just liking this model to do it because it just looks really nice. So based on MN model, this is going to be a licensed model, but I doubt it for the price. But yeah, overall, it does look pretty scale, and I do think that it's pretty good for the money. So the only thing that actually opens on this particular rig is going to be the hood. So the hood is also going to be a battery compartment. The battery compartment, unfortunately, not very big. The battery you will be able to fit in is probably going to be 1200 milliamps, which is the one that actually came with it. You can probably go up to 1500 milliamps, but I think that's going to be about it unless you're going to be making the compartment a little bit bigger. That's going to be up to you. As for the rest of the things that you can see from the exterior is the paint. So the paint job of the MN model does look pretty nice. I would say that the silver, they actually did a pretty good job. At least they're actually spray painting it, and it does look pretty good from far. But because of the price, and I don't know like how their QC works, you will spot some of the the not so perfect portion on the back or some parts, but that's going to be something that you have to live with if you're just going to be buying the cheapest product. And the rest, I do like. They are putting mirrors, and they're putting door handles, windshield wipers, and the front grille and the lights are just pretty decent. And if we flip to the back, you can actually see that they're actually giving you a full-size tire, full-size spare tire, which is also going to be a good replacement if you want to replace one of these. So these, quite surprising to see that on this kind of model and this pricing that you're actually getting B-lock tires, so you can see that you cannot remove it. So this is actually pretty good. I do think you're actually getting foam in there, so not bad. I really like this. All right, so that's going to be about it for the exterior. Now let's actually just look at the interior to see what you're actually going to be getting. So unfortunately, the door doesn't open, so I will try my best to show you like what is in there. So you get like standard driving wheels, dashboards, you get a clock, and you basically get like a shifting gear but with no shifting knobs. But quite interesting, you're getting cup holders, so if you have a little size like a scale drink, you can probably put there, and it's gonna make it look a pop. And for the chairs wise, I do think that this chair seems to be a little bit small, but yeah, I think it's okay. And on the back, you're actually gonna get like a complete compartment for you to store like actual scale products in here. So if you wanted to do that, I think it's actually gonna look pretty good. So next, let's actually just flip the car over. Let's actually look at the more important part of the drivetrain, like what you're actually gonna be getting. All right, so let's actually look at the bottom to see what you're actually gonna be getting. So the first thing that actually gonna be jumping to me is gonna be you're getting metal chassis beams. So this is very good to see because this will allow you to do tons of upgrades without like damaging, like if it's just plastic, it's just not going to be strong enough. All right, besides this, unfortunately, the rest of the portion are going to be in complete plastic. You're going to get plastic chassis links, like drive links, axle covers, and even the dog bone and the gears and like the pullers, whatever, they're just going to be in complete plastic. So that's going to be very standard for this pricing. So yeah, don't be surprised. But the good news is that the MN99 is going to be so popular to a point that they're just having tons of upgrades out there. So you can just buy the aftermarket parts to like completely transform this. And that's exactly what we are going to be doing in the next video. All right, so next, let's just flip it out a little bit. Let's look at what you're actually going to be getting for the shocks. So these shocks are just going to be regular spring shocks. You can add oil to it, and you can adjust just cannot adjust anything. So whatever you're getting, it's just what you're getting. So this one, if you want to increase the performance, probably replace this. I would say that that's going to be the first thing I generally do to my cars, although it's kind of like not necessarily required if you're just buying a high-end car. But this one, replacing it to oil filter shocks will generally give it a better performance. Next, let's actually look at the servo. So the servo is going to be a regular MN model servo, which is going to work. It's just not bad, not very good, but yeah, it's just going to work. But a very good thing that we're seeing right here, this is going to be the MN99 version 2. And the V1 is going to be the V1. The biggest complaint that people are having is that the servo is actually mounted on top of the chassis. So which, when you're actually turning your wheels, you know, the body's just going to shake because, you know, the force is just going to be distributed onto the chassis itself. But right now, since they actually mounted onto the axle, actually this is going to be better for like control. So very, very good to see this, and much more easier to upgrade to a sense. So next, let's actually just open it up, and we're going to see what we're actually getting inside. All right, so to remove the top body, there is going to be 4 screws that you have to remove. So 2 are going to be in the front under the hood, so pretty simple. It's going to be right here. And another 2, let's just flip it over so you can see it, just to show it to you. So one is going to be right here, and one is going to be right here. So out total 4 screw. After you remove it, flip it back, the top body is just going to be coming off. So once the top body is off, you can see that we are going to see the control module is going to be a 2-in-1 RX plus a ESC module. So this is going to be a standard for quite, like, if you're just buying those kind of like budget RC cars, most likely you're going to see this, because this is probably cheaper for them to develop instead of just putting like individual ESC and an individual like RX. So later on, when we're upgrading, this is just going to go directly, completely out, because we're just not going to use this at all. So for the motors, why this motor is going to be a 280 motor. So 280 motor, not too bad, but I will say that this brush motor probably is just going to be a little bit powerless for like a 12 scale car. So we will most likely upgrade this to a 370, because like that's probably going to be a little bit more powerful, like power like right for the scale. All right, so basically that's going to be what it's going to be included in the electronic parts in the inner side. Now let's actually just put back the top body, and we're going to power everything on. We're going to test to see what the lightning goes and what the remote has, like the function. All right, so to power this thing on, all you have to do is open the hood and plug in the battery. Just make sure you plug it into the correct side. Although there is like polarization protection or whatever, but just, yeah, always try to do it right. Plug it in and just close it like that. We'll be able to power it on. All right. Okay. So we'll just power on the radio. Okay. So the radio also requires like 2 batteries, which is pretty standard for MM model, 2 AA batteries. So just put it in like that. Okay, you can see that we're getting headlights. So MM models, it's actually just pretty good on lighting for like what kind of budget cars they are. They're gonna have most of the lighting you want. So you can see that headlights, you're gonna get like steering lights. That's kind of pretty standard for MM models, but not for other like RC manufacturers. So very, very good thing to see. Okay, let's flip it on the back. So you should get brake lights. I don't know if you can see it in here. Okay, you can see that your brake light is lighting up like that. That's actually backlight, but there should be a brake light. It's going to be right here that is always going to be on. And also you're going to get the same like steering lights, pretty standard. If you get it from front, you're going to get it from the back. So next, let's actually talk about the radio itself. This is a 5-channel radio, so you can see you got throttle, you got steering, all proportional. You also get like a little one knob to adjust your servo to like trim to make sure it goes straight. So this one is the knob, and you get like a little button right here. This is going to be controlling the speed. You basically get 2 speed controls, so either the high one and the low one. So like one goes fast, one goes slow, controlled by the ESC, so no actual gears. And you get a light switch on and off, so you can see that, yeah, basically this is how it works. All right, so basically let's test the speed. So let's actually press this. All right, so this is 1 speed. All right, so this is the fast one, obviously. All right, slow one, fast one. Okay, so lightning is pretty simple. I think the lightning also just controls the headlights and also, yeah, the fog light. But when you like decided to go forward, no, it doesn't do anything. But if you wanted to turn, I think it still has the signal light. So if you wanted to drive in days, like in daylight, then probably turning this off would be making more sense. And I think this also controls the bottom. Yes, it also controls the bottom like red light just completely. All right, so basically that's just going to be about it for the bench test. Next, let's just actually bring this to the field, and actually my front yard. We're just going to test all the tests we have done before and see how it performs. All right, let's get going. All right, so we're switching the scene to the front yard, so you can see that on the grass, this thing actually looks pretty nice, and like it's kind of like the real thing. So let's actually just start by testing how the speed goes if we're just doing like some like regular trail driving. So grass road, perfect for it to test. let's go. So this is going to be the slower speed at full throttle. So this is going to be how the articulation is moving. All right, let's actually make a turn. Okay, overall, not bad. Okay, let's put it on higher speed. All right, so punch it. Okay, not too bad. It's pretty good. Yeah, you can see that the shocks is just like jumping around. This is so funny. I think like in the MN models, this one is actually the more jumpy one. You can see that it's like kind of like doing that. So that's so funny. Yeah, this is gonna be modified completely later on because I just think this is a little bit too much. If you're considering the shocks, it's just not soft enough. All right, so that's basically gonna be the grass driving. Let's actually drive in on regular paved road. So on regular paved road, definitely no problem. Yeah, still a little bit jumpy if you go into bumps. All right, but just to give you an idea that this is going to be the speed. So 280 motors, it's not going to be too fast. You can definitely walk with it, no problem. And if you adjust it to the slower gear by the ESC, this is going to be the speed. This is going to be like regular, like old man style walking, so perfect. Yeah. So I do think that if you wanted to upgrade this, I think like upgrading it to like a 370 motor and like a gearbox, it's probably going to be something that is going to be really nice. All right, so same drill, we will be doing the 45-degree test to see how good it actually performs on this wooden plate. So I do have a little like triangle ruler above, underneath that plate. So yep, I know it's 45-degree for sure. All right, let's do it. All right, so let's do the test. So you can see that we have adjusted to like the slower speed gear. Okay, well, let's actually climb it. So 45-degree, oh, no, that's not right. It's okay, so I guess the tire is not sticky enough, and I think it's just not heavy enough in the bottom. It's not kind of like, it's not moving at all. All right, so you can see that's trying to tilt over. So, whoop. Yeah, I think this is going to tilt over. Whoop. Well, let's really just see if we can ram it. Whoop. Oh well, not working. All right, so next is going to be our standard tree root test. Let's just actually see how this actually performs again, this kind of trail. All right, so same drill, we're going to put it on slow gear. Try to drive it slowly. Okay, you can see that the articulation is not bad. It's kind of like bouncy, a little bit bouncy on the top shell, but that's going to be something that, yeah, we kind of like already know that this is what this car is actually going to be doing. But yeah, this thing is like a bubble head. It's like, you can see, that's so funny. Oh, it's going to tilt over. Yeah. Let's come back. Let's do it again. Yeah, you can see that this thing is just going to tilt like a bubble head. All right, so let's do another run to it. All right, so let's drive up. Okay. Oh, come on. Actually, not bad. Yeah, this is just too jumpy. So I'm definitely gonna upgrade this. I think this is just not ideal for like really. This is not gonna be a rock crawler. It's definitely not gonna be it. A trail truck, probably it's okay, but it's a little bit too jumpy. It's kind of like a bubble head thing. So. But overall, yeah, for the stock tune, I think this is for whatever that is stock already for the price. Yeah, when you're buying those kind of truck, as long as it kind of drives, you're kind of okay with it, you know. And it kind of looks scale, so I kind of can forgive it. So, yep. All right, so next is going to be our sand dune test. Let's actually give it a try. So let's slowly enter the pit. Okay. Yeah, so we just have a lot of rain recently in SoCal. I don't know why. Actually, it's actually dressed pretty good in the sand pit. But what I wanted to say is that currently the sand are going to be a little bit wet, so it's going to be a little bit stiffer. So you're not going to get a lot of like sand like coming up. It's going to be like hard sand. So, but most of the time, I think this is still going to be what you're going to be encountering in actually the field. So if you're climbing mountains, most likely it's going to be some kind of you're gonna get some kind of like water thing in the thing, so it's not gonna be like completely like dry like a sea sand. So yep, so this is gonna be something that you should be expecting, and I don't think my camera is actually chasing it. Okay, let's drive to the front to see if the camera actually recatches it. If not, we're just going to catch it again. Okay, so it's in the middle right now. Let's press the button. All right, here we go. All right, so this is going to be the top speed, I believe. Is it? Okay. All right, so this is the slow speed. Okay, top speed. All right, slow speed. But I would say that overall the articulation is not too bad. At least we're getting like some kind of articulation. So it's, yeah. But overall, yeah, still, this is definitely like requires some upgrades to be like really nice. All right, so let's actually exit the sand pit. Oh. Okay, let's kind of ram it. All right, it works. All right, so next is just going to be our standard electro drive. So we're just going to walk it to see like how it actually feels when you're driving it. So definitely you can still see that the shocks are going to be really bouncy because of the heavy top shell, and like really I think it's a little bit tall in a sense. So yep, it's just going to be very jumpy. Okay, to drive it over here. All right, so let's go down this hill with this angle so we can see how it actually moves its tires. There's actually a bug right there. It's okay. We don't care. All right, all right, all right. It's moving. It's moving. It's not bad. Come on. Okay. All right, so actually save itself. You're pretty good. All right, so right now it's just going to be regular like road drive, so pretty simple. You can see that it's kind of like steady. All right, let's climb up this hill again. Okay, come on, let's do it. You can do it. All right. Yeah, this is definitely a really nice truck to play with. So I can see that there's going to be a lot of potential for this truck if you upgrade it, and yeah, because it just looks nice with a lot of scale details. So yep, that's going to be something that we're going to be doing in the next video. I kept on saying this, but it means that I'm really just kind of excited to upgrade this thing. All right, so that's going to be about it for a line outside driving. And next, let's actually put an FPV camera behind the cockpit to see how it actually feels. All right, so this is going to be the behind the wheel test for the MN99. So you can see that, yep, this car definitely has a lot of space for us to install the camera. So later on, probably I'll just install like the gimbals inside here, the Cadex GM3. So we probably will be able to do like head tracking, because this is kind of like just you're looking at the front. But to be honest, this car does drives pretty well. And a thing that we wanted to mention is that this car is a little bit top heavy. So let's see if we're actually running on the uneven pavement to see like, oh, you can see that's just so easy to tilt over. So that's something that we probably wanted to upgrade later on to like kind of like probably try to see if we can fix the tilt over issue, because right now the top is just too heavy and the bottom is just not enough.
Eventually.
All right, so basically we have just kind of like cheat a little bit to like manually turn it back. So yeah, we can see that definitely when you're in the top shell, you can definitely see that this is going to be super rocky. Yep, it's just like, yep, it's just super rocky. I don't know what is like the better words to say. So yep, let's actually go through the tree trunk track to see like if we can actually survive without tilting over, because this one, it just seems that it is just like super rocky. Oh my god. Okay, let's do it. Ooh. Oh my god, I think this is not good. All right, okay. I think we have to come into the correct angle. This is just kind of like, I'm not sure, is it because, no, I don't think so. I was thinking about might be because that we're having a battery on top, but I don't think that's going to be the issue. Oh yeah, oh my god. Oh my god. Alright, we're gonna turn that way. Turn that way. Okay. Nope, nope, nope. Alright, so I think that definitely this is gonna tilt over. Yeah. So I think like if we are able to like actually use the gimbals, that might actually help, because we will be able to like turn our head to see like what environment we're at. But right now just like completely straight. Let's actually exit to like the paved road. Kind of wanted to see how it goes for the downhill. Alright, so this is the full speed. Alright, so we have to go in like complete straight to avoid tilting over. Okay, okay, come on, let's go. Yeah, by the way, it's kind of like late right at the time, so it's about 7:30 at my location. And it's kind of like the day is like this all day, so I'm just gonna do it. Just gonna do the video anyway. Okay. Alright, so please don't tilt over. I really just don't want it to walk. Okay. Woo, 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 woo. Alright, so good. Alright, so we recover ourselves. So right now it's just paved roads. Okay, go full speed right here. Yep. So anyway, so I think this truck is definitely going to be worth it to upgrade, because like that's going to be something that you probably wanted to do for this one. The stock right now, it just seemed that we have a tilt over issue. It's like just a little bit top heavy and kind of like a bubble head kind of effect. Oh, you can see that how easy that is. So yep, anyway, this is going to be the video, and if you have additional questions or comments, please feel free to leave it down below. And if you like what I'm doing, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now. Happy flying and happy driving. Oh shoot, we actually broke the little mirror because of the tilt over.